Today we're going to be talking about whether you should let your child take ADHD medications. Hi, I'm Dr. Josef Witt-Doerring. I'm a psychiatrist. I used to work at the FDA and I've worked in numerous pharmaceutical companies, and I help people make informed decisions about psychiatric drugs. Let's talk about ADHD. If you're thinking about whether your child has this condition and whether medication is needed, it's really worth giving this some serious thought. Why is that? The reason is that the treatment for ADHD a lot of the times is medications, and medications have risks, and so we want to make sure that the benefits of the drugs outweigh the risks. ADHD is characterized usually by hyperactivity and impulsivity and poor concentration. This can make it really challenging for kids to thrive in structured learning environments, especially if that's not your child and that's not their baseline. It can be highly distressing for parents to see other children progressing and other children doing well when their kids are having a really hard time excelling as their other colleagues are. Let's talk a little bit about these medications. Some of the main things that you want to be aware of with these drugs are the side effects. Whether you're talking about Adderall, Ritalin, or Strattera, which is another common one, a lot of them share fairly similar side effects. The main one is usually behavioral problems. Now, this isn't in everyone, but this is an important risk. Sometimes they can make children irritable. Sometimes they can make them a little disinhibited. Most of them make kids crash in the afternoon, and they can have this irritability later on. And so you want to be really aware of that. There can be blood pressure problems with some of the drugs like Adderall and Vyvanse, and so you want to make sure that you monitor those closely. As for the effectiveness of these drugs, what I will say is that in the short term, they tend to work fairly well. They can have kids kind of focused more on their school. I don't think it's actually translated to, higher performance, although I have heard from several individuals many times throughout my career that they think that these medications have been highly effective. The one thing I would say about ADHD is it's really growing as a diagnosis these days. There used to be a time where ADHD was this kind of fringe diagnosis that was only applied to the most disruptive and hyperactive children. Pretty much everyone thought that kids simply just grew out of it and drugs were not, really continued long term. Nowadays, there's been a lot of emphasis on adult ADHD, and more people are taking these medications kind of for performance enhancement. Some of the reasons why you might not want to do that and why you want to be careful about this is, the risk of the cardiovascular strain of taking a stimulant medication frequently. And there's also a risk of growth stunting as well, which has been shown especially in children. And so parents face a hard choice with something like ADHD. It can be really hard when there's a school and everything is working well otherwise, but then teachers start telling you that your child is too disruptive and you don't want to upend their life and their friends and everything like that. I always think if you can find a solution that doesn't involve putting a child on medication, whether it's a new class or a new format, you could do that. And I would recommend thinking very carefully about whether there are ways that you could support your child without using these medications. It is true that not all children are built to sit down and do math and English in a chair. Some kids are just generally more active. Sometimes putting a square-like shape in like a round hole is simply not going to work. And would you really want to have to give someone a medication to get them into a place when they're doing that with all of the risks involved? So that can be a very difficult decision. So if you're thinking about whether your child needs to be on ADHD medication, the first thing is think about, is it possible to change their environment? Is it possible to get them into a new setting where it's more in line with their interests and they're going to thrive? At least answer that question before you go down the route of ADHD medications. Overall, in the long term, I see a lot of people really struggle to come off psychiatric medications. The stimulants, especially Adderall and Ritalin, I've not seen a lot of problems with people coming off them later on. So I do think they are fairly easy medications to stop later on if your child is wanting to see how they do without medications. So I hope this video was helpful in helping you make decisions about whether your kid has ADHD.